Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
We are live, baby, live. It's Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. But it's the day. Super Bowl's over, Max. It's college basketball. Can't get more hyped. It's Big Monday. I love it. How are you doing today, my guy? What's going down?
Yeah, I'm doing great. You know, like it's Valentine's Day, but it's not Valentine's Day. It's my homegirl Tyler's birthday. I always tell her every day, I'm like, fuck Valentine's Day. It's some Hallmark holiday that motherfuckers made so that they can make money off of us. It's your birthday, God's gift to the goddamn planet. And now that she's back from Germany, she's able to spread her beautiful blonde haired wings all over the place. And I'm just happy to have her back on the right side of the Atlantic.
Well, it sounds like you're excited about that, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I am. And I'll tell you also something, Connor. You know, you got over on me twice. You got over on me twice. Liberty.
When?
Navy. Yeah.
Tough spots for him.
You know, I was I may have been saying your name in a couple of the sentences as I was losing my money.
I had a feeling you were yelling. Fuck Conor.
Pull me off of them. Just says, yeah, Max, we're just gonna go head to head. You're gonna lose money. I'm gonna be laughing at you. I'm gonna have a Budweiser in your honor. And yeah. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I did not break the mic like I had promised a bunch of people I would. And listen, we got fucking YMCA basketball. We got prestigious basketball. We got strip club cupcakes of all types. And I love strip club cupcakes.
Yeah, you can't beat those strip club cupcakes, for sure. Before I get to your unbelievable line movement, side and total from last night to right now, tell me a little about a game that's just tipped off. St. Louis and your Bonnies, St. Bonaventure. For the chat, anything, obviously it's off, but anything to look out for, or maybe we'll go through it throughout the show here by halftime.
If I was telling my Patreon guys earlier today, I was like, with St. Louis, I think that one area that people haven't attacked is on monkey knife picks if they offer free throws. This St. Louis Billiken team, every time that they make a free throw this year, money's getting donated to a charity. I can't remember what the cause was. So I do think that Travis Ford will extend games. He will send his team to the foul line and force them to freaking not settle for jump shots. That could work out really well, but going up against a matchup zone with St. Bonaventure should be difficult, hopefully the second time out, even though St. Louis, out of the teams in the A-10, have been one of the most fierce teams in that second game in the revenge situation.
Yeah, they have. Just not an easy one. This would be big for the Bonnies to be at home and to sweep, and win this one here today. It'd be really big for them and big for St. Louis to bounce back and get a W off them. But quickly before we run down, we're going to run just straight down the chute in order. Max, let's hit up the lines. Tell me what's caught your eye from last night to right now, side and total.
Yeah, listen, I think that with the Eastern Illinois Austin P game, we did see an adjustment in the line from 13 to 11, and I definitely agreed with that. We have seen some movement in the Kansas State West Virginia total, and in that first game, a lot of missed jump shots, a lot of missed scoring opportunities were not taken advantage of, and I do think that with this total moving the way it is, probably is the right way. I think that when we look at Niagara and Marist, they were a 4.5 point underdog. They're now just a 3-point bucket. So if Marcus Hammond and Noah Thomason come through, maybe they can provide some value to the line as it is for Niagara. When I go down the board, I definitely have to stop and I have to look at Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Cleveland State. This is a game that opened up as a pick'em, and Cleveland State is now a 2-point favorite. to me, this sort of seems like the same situation that we saw with UAB, and then they went out and outright lost on the road. So Cleveland State at 2 now could be the right move. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. When we look at Virginia Tech and Virginia, this is going to be the revenge game, and I do think that Virginia as the dog from 5.5 down to 4, or actually now 3.5 or 4.5 was the right move. We'll see if it actually works out to be true. Have to look at the CAA, have to look at Drexel and Charleston with their total opening up at 148 and now up to as high as 150.5. I think that with the James Madison total, we did see some U-shaped line movement, some up, some down, and now it's back down. And I have to say that the Davidson Duquesne total was quite surprising. Seeing that spot go down the way that it did from 138 to 135.5 at its lowest was definitely very surprising to me. So Southern Utah, Northern Colorado, this is a game that we saw open up at 156.5, go as low as 153.5, and in the morning and mid-afternoon, we've seen it get as high now as 157. So very interesting line move with that game, and it's really going to be about what number you got to determine whether or not you're on the right side of it. With Southern Utah, Northern Colorado, both one-on-one isolation offenses, and both are very heavy guard-oriented scorers. Illinois, Chicago versus IUPUI. Obviously, we've been making a lot of jokes about IUPUI, but we've also seen some line movement on the side and total. The side went from 16.5 to as high as 18, and the total went from 125.5 to as high as 127. I think that both are critical moves, and the more you can get with the total, the better it's going to look when the under hits tonight. Western Kentucky and Southern Miss, we've seen a big line move to the total from 140.5 to as low as 135.5 right now. So major adjustment on that. We'll see if it was the right way. Speaking of major adjustments, we got to go look at the A10 in Rhode Island. Our friend Nasty Nate, friend of the show, his school going up against Dayton, and that total surprisingly went up from 122.5 to as high as 126 right now. We have had a little bit of spread movement in the Oklahoma State-Kansas game, going from a 12 to a 10.5, and we've had a significant move in the Georgetown game, more than a bucket, up from 139.5 to as high as 142.5. I think that when we look at Washington State and Oregon coming off that terrible Cal loss, is a team that has to put up some points. And if Washington State wants to zone up on them, we could see this move with the total being the correct move from 133 to as high as 135 right now. Going through a couple of the line moves on the added board, Connor Mack, I have to look at Lafayette and Colgate. This is a spot where the number went from 137.5 to as high as 140.5. Very interesting move. Can Lafayette score against Colgate's defense? Is Colgate going to be a catch and shoot beast tonight? A lot of questions that have to be answered at 6 p.m. Eastern. When I go down the rest of the added board, I do stop at Vermont and Hartford, where the total has dropped from 139.5 down as low as 136.5. And I do think that's because of the question marks regarding Ryan Davis and his status tonight with back spasm issues. Another game that I have to mention when it comes to line moves would have to be that spot in the SWAC conference. It involves obviously two quality teams, but where's this line really supposed to freaking go? When you look at this Florida A&M Alcorn State game, it's definitely another interesting one that I thought would have had a little more line movement with the total, but it's gone up and it's gone back down to where it opened at. Aside from that, Connor, nothing's worth mentioning that we won't talk about when we break down each game. And I'm ready to just shout out the chat, one of the best chats, if not the best motherfucking chat. And You need to call their names out.
I guess we're going to just get started since Connor had to dip out. Just going to go off the first one I have down here. All right, he's back.
All right, we got Connor Mack back. Connor, we need you to shout out everybody on the chat right now.
Excellent. Did you finish the line in total? Sorry.
Yes.
Perfect. So you got through the rest of your line movement. Got a little craziness going on here. Live show at the live shit going down. But yeah, good. I'm glad you finished. Let's hit the chat. Tony Cobbs, great to see you. Ryan, Pauly Walnuts, James Callie, T-Mac, James Parm, Sam Colmer, Top Set, Daryl Lyles, Matty Ice, Taint Play of the Day, Kansas State Moneyline, Holy Cross plus 17 for him there. Nuke Worker, congrats on retirement, my man. Dr. Jekyll, AJN, shout out to you. King Arthur, Ron Lofton, Bill McHugh, Jay Peasy, been here. Isaiah Scurry, good to see you. Real Deal Prime, The Grinder. Jake Burns, Cheshire Cat, good to see you. Pauly Walnuts, Brian Watson, CT Bays up near. Tony Bruscher, my guy, how you doing? Mario White, Colton, shout out to you, my man. What's up? Patrick missed the putt yesterday. I know, you had Patrick Cantlay? If you had him, I feel bad. I'm glad Scheffler made that putt for me. That was huge. Huge for me. All right, Max, let's get to the games. Shout out to everyone. All I ask, well, I don't know. Max will have it loaded, I'm sure. The Scarlett Johansson, his own version of his taint the other day. But let's get to it right here, Max. Let's get right down the line. Eastern Illinois, Austin Peay. Austin Peay's laying 11.5, total 122. What do we like here? You on mute? Can't hear you.
Sorry, I went on mute so I wouldn't be nose whistling into the mic, and I forgot to turn it back on, Connor. But thank you for reminding me. Well, I'll tell you this.
Great. Hey, real quick, it's getting off to a great start, but this is how it goes, baby. We're back. It's Monday. Yeah, we're getting to the games. Rocket.
We're good. You know, it's an international show. You're in freaking Nevada. I'm in Ontario. You know, it's a far distance. And we are both serviced by telecom giants that just want our money but don't want to give us good freaking quality product. So fuck them. What I will say about this basketball game, though, is it not strange to see Austin Peay at this type of number? I think that the number not correcting itself more is definitely based off Eastern Illinois' full body of work. However, Eastern Illinois has been an absolute offensive giant the last couple games. They put up 82 points in a basketball game, putting up 20 more than they had at all during the season, non-conference or conference, versus D1 opponents. I think that this is a real interesting number. I think that EIU has to be the spot here. Like I've said, Elijah Everett Hutchins is a big deal for this team. And if he is stopped and you can score inside against them, you're going to have a lot easier of a time. And if Keshawn Charles wants to go 6 for 12 from 3-point range again, so be it. Eastern Illinois probably is the right spot to get on.
Yeah, you're talking about Max, an Austin Peay team. They're the better basketball team, but laying 11.5, no way. This is dog. And then you see a total like this of 122. Yeah, no way. Nah, I can't take it. This is dog or pass, and it might stay under. But that's a lot of points when I see a game around that total to be laying with Austin Peay. Let's get to a pretty good one here. You talked about we get YMCA games, bigger games. West Virginia, a couple good schools. Not playing well this year, though, Bob Huggins' team. Against K-State. K-State, this has come, now basically everywhere, 3.5 on the board. Total 134.5, 135. Would you like laying it here with K-State, or is this too big a number? The short number.
I think that this is why the taint has some freaking Kansas State in it, is that it is a revenge situation. It is a situation where you can say that West Virginia was getting some calls their way that were pretty critical towards the final outcome in the game. However, I just think at the end of the day, you need certain things to work for this Kansas State team. You need them to be able to keep Davion Bradford on the floor, providing you that actual 5 natural size instead of having to rely on Ishmael Massoud. I think that when you look at this dribble drive penetration, I think you do have your best freaking backcourt now with Marquise Noel playing like he did at Little Rock without all the freaking head case issues. It's hard for me not to like K-State in this situation. The one difference is West Virginia guarding and taking away those driving lanes. That's their biggest goal tonight. If they do that, then they can freaking sweep the series. If not, Kansas State's going to walk all over them because making 3-point shots versus Wildcat defense is just not an enviable task. I think that Kansas State can win with their defense, but if West Virginia is freaking torching them, then it doesn't sound like a cupcake. It sounds like a bran muffin.
Yeah, that West Virginia defense is just kind of fallen off from earlier in the year, Max. It's just a lot more high-scoring games they've gone over.
Yeah, but
K-State,
with Cottrell and Osabuoye, like they're still guys that can ball out defensively.
Oh yeah, and I'm saying I'd lean to this under with K-State being at home. But I don't blame him going money line here. A good K-State team. I don't know about great, but that's only the side I'd be on here. How about this one? A team that played bad shooting day on Saturday. Niagara. They're at Marist. Marist is laying 2. There's a few places 2.5. This number's come down. Total 130.5 here. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna roll with Niagara. I felt like on the opener the number made the most sense. But I'll say this, like when you watch this Marist team, they are capable of scoring 70 points any given night. And I think that this is a night that they should be able to score 70 points. When you look at the fact that you have Yao Uka, who is now playing more minutes after I was calling for him to play more minutes, he's putting up big numbers. He can't be stopped on the interior. Ricardo Wright's a beast on his own. And now you're getting Raheem Sullivan back. My fellow fucking Canadian is done with his suspension. He came off the bench in 11 minutes, albeit in a freaking game that they really needed the points, and he gave them 7 points. I think that he's going to earn himself more minutes. And when you have that trio of Marist guards, 65 or 65.5 in a home game versus a Niagara team that may be down for the count seems like the better way to go.
Yeah, this one was a pass for me. Marist plays better at home. I think that total's spot on. I'd lean to the under, but I'd want a higher number to get involved. And these teams, sometimes when they don't show up, Max, it's tough. Like Niagara did that shit. It's a shitty loss. And so, yeah, let's get to one more here.
I'll just say this, Conor, quickly. When Noah Thomason and Marcus Hammond combined for under freaking 15 points, you're in big trouble. When those guys can get to the bucket, then they're going to be competitive. They're dangerous after scoring 53 points.
I agree. They're going to shoot better today. So, and definitely if you got that at a higher number from last night, you're in a good spot. All right, Canisius at Fairfield. Fairfield laying 6 here. Can you trust Fairfield laying it? Do you think Canisius go on the road here and cover this number? This was one I stayed off. I wanted a few more points. I lean with the dog. Total 134.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Fairfield, it's so tough to figure out what they're going to give you offensively, when they're on point and they're hitting threes and they're getting supreme cook, lots of opportunities inside, they're fucking marvelous. But when they're not, they literally make you freaking die slowly inside. I think that the big difference, Conor, is that Caleb Green's back in the lineup. Now they don't have any excuses. They have a freaking proper ball handler, a guy who can really freaking zip it and decide when he needs to go to the bucket and score it himself. And you know what? Even for a guy at that size, he's still going and crashing the glass. I think that this is a game where you have to look towards Fairfield at least early, but Can you trust them for 40 minutes? Hell fucking no. I would lean to the Wards full game also with you.
Yeah, just tough to want to put your money on this. I'd also lean under. I know you mentioned Fairfield this year at times. Can't get hot, but if I were to play this on this total, I would lean under at this number that you can get right around 134.5. Yeah.
You got to remember, like, even if a team's routing a team, the winning team could still hit their team total over.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. All right, let's get to this one, Max. Cleveland State, pretty good team. They're favored here by 1.5. There's some twos out there as well. This total 141.5 basically everywhere against Purdue, Fort Wayne. Can they go on the road and cover the short number, Cleveland State?
You know what? I want to believe in it. I do believe in it. I have to see it also. I think that with Cleveland State, you know, that inconsistency from the perimeter is the one thing that always scares me off. They're a significantly better home shooting 3-point team than they are on the road. And with some of their free throw issues, you know, it is coming down and really fucking with numbers.
Yeah, it drives me crazy with them.
I don't want to admit that there's another situation that could be a UAB spot, but this could be another UAB spot. I'm walking into the trap though, and I got a vanilla cupcake, and I got a Cookie Monster cupcake, and I'm gonna fucking eat both of them.
He's eating both. Never let one go to waste. Never. Shout out to the chat. Also, everybody in here, hit the like button. That's all I ask out of you. There he is, Arthur Meade Jr. Man, $10 dono. Hit it. Doom. All right, thanks, Arthur. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, Arthur Meade. Fucking with your eyes open, Arthur, and congratulations on that William and Mary second half +7 that you cashed.
Yeah, hell yeah. Congrats. The game went over as well. But appreciate the dono. Helps us out a lot. Keeping us going forward, doing these shows. It means a lot to us, everybody that gives us a dono. Thank you, Arthur Meade. Guy who's been down, supported us since day one. My guy, Trans Canada, up in here. Send me a little AC/DC thunder. I played it, man. It got me hyped. Sammy Comer, Mark Schillenberg. I hope you're feeling better. I heard you're sick, man. My guy, feel better. There, Pound Cake Pusha. What's up? Rude Jude. What's up, my guy? Up in here. Shout out to everyone. Hit the like button. That's all we need. All right, big game here, Max. This next one. Virginia at Virginia Tech. This one opened at 5.5. We're at 4.5, basically everywhere. And we're basically now at 118.5, basically everywhere. Tell me what you like here. Virginia Tech's a little bit hot. Can you trust them with this number? Or I like the other side. I like the points. Even though this has come down, this is one that's tough with the show, you know, from today. You know, it just happens. But there's other games where I think we can take advantage of the total. But I got to lean Virginia here. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. I lean towards Virginia also. I think that the key is Jaden Gardner being able to go off. He can't go 2 for 10 like he did in the first game. He's got to be able to be effective. He's got to be able to open it up for other guys. And we've seen this Virginia team step up. What the big concern is going to be in this game is Virginia Tech's 3-point shooting. We've seen them be very, very effective, and Syracuse was able to limit them to an extent. I think that will be the key for Virginia today. Use that pack line defense to freaking make tough shots even more difficult. And listen, you got to win the battle at the point guard spot. When you look at Reese Beekman and, of course, Kie Clark, they're going to have to be able to contain Storm Murphy, turn him over, and not let him get a 3-point shot off, because this just feels like the type of game that he's going to have a big one unless they D up on him hard.
Yeah, and we'll see. Both teams playing pretty good. I just think it's going to be tight, Max. Like, this is one that I just thought the total's 118. If I'm the other team, it's a lot of like VCU games. I want these 4.5 with Virginia. I think they're in it. So I think you got to take the points here with them. I think the game is close. We'll see though. If Virginia Tech can get hot from 3, which they struggled early parts of the year. it'll be bad. But if they're hot, they could cover this for sure. All right, let's get to the next one. Drexel, College of Charleston. Charleston's laying 4. You talked about this total. It's moved up to 150 almost everywhere here. What do you like, Drexel, College of Charleston?
Yeah, I like the dog in this spot. Too much isolation freaking offense for Drexel. What does Charleston struggle with the most? Isolation offense. I don't think that it's going to end up well for them, and I'm pretty good with it.
Okay, excellent. I have nothing in that game for me. Let's get to this next one. I was talking with you in the back about it. James Madison, Delaware. Delaware's laying 5.5 here, total 147. There's a few and a halves. There's a few 148s out there. What do you like here, James Madison, Delaware?
Yeah, I think that it's really important for Dylan Painter to play bigger minutes for this team. If he does, then I do like the chances of Delaware being able to take care of this James Madison team. Obviously, these are two teams that have already played, so there is a little bit of a revenge angle. I just don't think that it really applies. While I do like Delaware to win the game, I think that the better value with them always is to gauge what their game plan is and how their rhythm in their offense is looking early. I think we're going to see points in this game, and I do like Delaware at least first half on the spread.
Yeah, tough one here. We were talking about in the back some of the injuries, not crazy, but James Madison dealing with them. I mentioned 66, 69, 66. The last 3, they've all stayed under. But I still think there's points here. It's just whether it gets over this 148 or not. All right, next one here, Max. Another good one. I thought Tulsa at Central Florida. This total's 140. Basically everywhere 139.5 at some spots. What do you like here?
No, this is a pass for me. No, thank you. Better spots on the board.
Yeah, the dreaded kind of. I haven't been crazy betting Central Florida all year. Now you have 7.5, 8. Tulsa's sneaky team that could stay in this game, and nothing on the total. I mean, I lean to this under, but Central Florida's been a little crazy with their totals, Max. They have some blowouts, stay under. They get into some high-scoring games that could go over this number. So a difficult one for me to get a read on there. All righty, Duquesne at Davidson. Davidson 13.5. 14-point favorites. We got a total of 135, 136. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, I think that this is a typical Davidson rebound spot. I would not be surprised to see Davidson winning at the half by a good margin. We've seen Duquesne really struggle, and if they don't have Trey Williams or they don't have Leon Ayers on the floor staying out of foul trouble, it just makes everything they try to do more difficult. This team would be so much better if Sincere Carey and Tavion Dunn-Martin were still on the goddamn roster. And of course, Mr. Weathers down in SMU. So it's Davidson or pass for me. It's Davidson or pass for me on this one.
Yeah, I wish I could see more, get more out of Duquesne. Can't back them here as dogs. This was a pass, and this total's taking a hit down from 138 to 135.5. There's a few 136s. Let's get to this next one. There should be points here, Max, but we got a large total. Southern Utah versus Northern Colorado. 1-point favorites here. This total's anywhere from 155 to 157, depending on kind of where you're shopping around. What do you like here? Southern Utah, Northern Colorado.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to have a very popular opinion considering these teams put up 172 points last time they played, but I expect an adjustment. I don't expect them to score that type of number. I think that when you look at Southern Utah, they have been an over machine aside from one game against NAU and then that really weird game against Idaho. I think Southern Utah, if they can score in the one-on-one isolation plays that they run versus Northern Colorado, then they're going to be able to freaking really force Northern Colorado's guards and Dalen Kuntz and Matt Johnson, Drew Cuxhausen to really get to the rim, get to the free throw line, and score the clock stops. I think that the one difference maker for Northern Colorado that Southern Utah will always struggle to handle is Bodie Hume. And now with all this other guard firepower that Northern Colorado suddenly possesses, it seems like a spot where Hume can really take advantage. He can freaking back someone up, he can face someone out, and he can drill a fucking three. I think that that skinny freaking pale motherfucker plays a big role tonight, and I think that Northern Colorado is able to freaking figure out a way to get it done on their home court.
All right, let's see if they can get it done. Should be, we'll see. That's just a shitload of points, like you talked about. It got there. Two bad defenses. Let's see if it stays under. All right, next one. Indiana, Purdue here. Awful against Illinois, Chicago. Huge 18-point favorites here, Max. Obviously, this total it's gone up, though, a little bit from 125.5 to 127. What do you like here?
Yeah, it's not a freaking enviable task to get on IUPUI at this type of number. But when I look at this number and I freaking look at my number, I'm just like, wow, can I really put a bet on UIC at this number? And unfortunately, I want to. It says that I should. Do I punch it in the face and freaking say I don't trust you? I can't. It's not a human being. I do think that in the end, though, Connor, the best value with all IUPUI road games is to take the under. I think that when you play a top quality team in the conference, there's more likely to be a bigger blowout where your opponent may score 80. I just don't think at the end of the day, UIC, even with Demaria Franklin in the lineup, is going to do that. So I prefer the under the most out of all the games, out of all the bets within the game. And hopefully IUPUI knows their goddamn place and goes to the back of the strip club where there's no strippers and there's just freaking service people making food and drinks.
Yeah, I think they'll be back there. They're like way back there, but at the front of the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the back.
And they need to be charged double the cover for bouncers and for freaking bar staff.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this next one here, Max. I don't have much interest. I think they take care of business on the road, but you got to lay 11.5, 12. Western Kentucky at Southern Miss, total 136.5. Any look here?
I want to see them do it early. Otherwise, I am very worried about teams going into Southern Miss and trying to beat them. Now, obviously, Western Kentucky is going to have the tallest player on the court, but Southern Miss has a pretty nice stable of some guys that they can call upon when they need front court play. Tyler Stevenson, Isaiah Moore are two of them. Jerron Pierre, the 6'4" guard, needs to be able to produce like he did 3 out of the last 4 games, which was 19 points or more. They need that Ty Hardy guy to step up. I think it could be him. We'll see if he can freaking get back up there. But Southern Miss, they're a stingy team. Sometimes they do put up a really good fight early on and then fold like a folding chair. I don't think that this is going to be one of those situations. If anything, I think Western Kentucky gets out to a big lead and Southern Miss plays catch up. Either way, I do think it's going to be a low scoring game. And the value was mostly with the under when it was at 137.5. Now that it's below that, it's really zapped the threshold, sort of like a lady of the night when she tells you to put a condom on your dick for a blowjob.
Yeah, obviously. Come on. Let's get to the next one here. We still got a good amount of games. Dayton, Rhode Island. Dayton favored by 2 here. Rhode Island's had a rough year, had a good win. Its last one, they're catching 2 at home. I know this has moved up, Max, but if you could get a 126, and obviously they think there's going to be points, but Rhode Island's so slow. Their pace, everything. I could only look under. What do you like here, Dayton, Rhode Island?
Yeah, I agree with you when it comes to the total, and I do think that when you look at Dayton, is Rhode Island going to shoot 19 for 23 from the free throw line like they did against Davidson? I don't think so. Do they have a 3-point shot? Not a consistent one. And at the end of the day, how physical is this Dayton front court going to be with Rhode Island? Are they going to be able to keep the Mitchell brothers on the floor playing together or even separately? I'm not sure. I think that at the end of the day, this is a Dayton game that they can out physical Rhode Island and they can grind it out. They do have Malachi Smith on the other side when it comes to backcourt scoring, and Dayron Holmes, that guy's an NBA player waiting to happen. So I'm surprised that we don't mention his name more often. I think Dayton gets a nice win on the road tonight, even though hasn't been the strongest place to back them.
Yeah, we'll see. Just this not. I mean, used to spots with Rhode Island at home is very good, and let's see if they can do it here because it's been a rough year for them. All right, big game here. Kansas, Oklahoma State. They're laying 10.5 most everywhere, Max. This total's 143, 143.5. You trust Kansas here at home to lay this big a number?
No, I don't. Because they don't have the dribble drive penetration that Remy Martin freaking offers. I think that there's a lot of spot up shooters. There's a lot of Abaji one-on-one play. And this is the biggest game of Oklahoma State's season. They're on a postseason ban. They're not playing no conference. They're not playing no freaking postseason basketball. So why would they not want to freaking come in here, play the game of their season, and fucking try and sneak a freaking monumental win? The number's low, and it makes sense. Kansas better be on red alert. Otherwise, KJ Adams is going to have to go and shop for his own freaking undergarments.
Yeah, there's just no way I'm going to lay it here with Kansas. They have played some of their better games at home, but no way I can lay it here with them at all. How about this next one? This total's moved, Max. I believe they just played a while ago and it went over. But we'll see here tonight. Georgetown plays zero defense, sloppy team, having a horrible season. At Creighton, Creighton's laying 10.5, 11. This total's 142.5. It's moved up 3 points. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, listen, I definitely like Creighton on the spread. Even though it's a revenge game, I just cannot trust Georgetown to play good basketball for 40 minutes. They may surprise us for the first 20, Connor, but they will let you down like a fucking rub and tug freaking professional. They will let you down, literally.
Let you down. Straight down. Yeah, just Creighton's a better team. You got to lay it. Maybe go team total with Creighton because Georgetown's just horrible defensively. So look at a Creighton team total in that one. All right, let's get to this one. Washington State at Oregon. This one's gone from 3.5 to 5. Now it's kind of come back a little bit. We have some 4.5s out there as well. Total 134. There's a few 135s. And this has moved up a few points from 133. What do you like here? Wazoo versus the Ducks.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna ride with my boy fucking Dabby Cab on this shit. And I'm gonna say Oregon is not gonna be down at halftime. Did you watch that Cow game, Connor?
Oh.
Did you watch Oregon just look putrid? It looked like they were hungover, like someone gave them a freaking coyote blood injection instead of a wolf's blood injection because they were playing with a bunch of little squealing coyotes. And I'll tell you, Connor, as someone who used to have a small dog, if a coyote tried to ever attack any of my pets, I would be eating that thing. Okay, not the other way around. And I'll tell you this, if Oregon doesn't eat tonight, they should be put down. They should be put down. Dana Altman should have his head shaved. My Oregon Duck stuff should be burnt in a freaking barbecue down at the homeless shelter. And they just better fucking come through, Connor. I don't know if I've ever felt this strongly about an Oregon Duck Pac-12 game, but I do about this one. Quack, quack, quack.
Usually, after being embarrassed, I think they bounce back too. Washington State, though, slow team. They've played better than I thought in certain spots on the road. It won't be easy there. I lean under a little bit in this game as well. So that's just a lean for me. All right, that's it for the board. Let's head to the added board here, Max, and get through it. MD, Baltimore County versus New Hampshire. New Hampshire's laying 2.5.
Sorry, Connor. Stop.
Yep.
Stop. That game is already being played.
Oh, sorry. I'm going down the line. Lafayette, Colgate. Sorry, that one's already off. I'm going in order here. Lafayette, Colgate. Colgate laying 14.5. Total 140. 140.5 most everywhere. You lay it here with Colgate?
Listen, if there's a team that you trust in the Patriot League to lay it with, I think that the governor trusts Colgate. Now, trusting Colgate on the road compared to at home is a different thing. But when you can catch and shoot the way that Colgate does, and you have the big men to contain Neo Quinn, it's going to be very interesting to see if Lafayette can get it going. We're going to know by the end of 20 minutes what type of game this is going to be. However, I'll say this. Colgate is one of the best second half teams, if not the second best second half team in the Patriot League. I think that Colgate is a second half bet on team, and with their catch and shoot ability, it's just hard to fucking ignore at home.
Yeah, it's a big number. Lafayette. This team's so weird from half to half, Max. I don't know when they're going to show up. I don't know. They're just.
I will say this, Connor. My Bonnies are up 10 on St. Louis.
Beautiful. We got a happy man. Is it halftime?
No, there's still 3 minutes left in the first half, so it's some over basketball. But I'll say this: it's nice to not see them embarrassing me while I'm on the show, because it really dampers my mood. And right now, all I can think about, Connor, is college basketball, cupcakes, and all different types of strippers and rub and tug artists.
So all this guy thinks about just runs through his mind on a rapid pace, probably in that order, but maybe switched around at times. Next one, Howard is laying 4 here versus MD Eastern Shore. This total's moved up a little bit to 138.5. I cannot trust Howard laying it. And it's not that I love Eastern Shore, but I'd only take the dog here. What do you like in this one, Max?
Yeah, I think that obviously with this first game and it being an 8-point game and Maryland Eastern Shore having troubles making shots in the last 2 minutes of that spot really hurt them. I think that this is a perfect opportunity for some revenge, but you got to be aware, this Howard offense with Steven Settle and Kyle Foster and freaking Ty Bibbs and Randy Brumont, these guys can fucking ball. They don't need to go deep into the bench to do it. These are guys that can play with fouls. They play a system that they're very comfortable and good at. I think that Maryland Eastern Shore needs to get some freaking good on-ball defense, chase his team off the 3-point line, and they got to figure a way out where they are not leaving 4, 5, 6 points at the free throw line on each half. If they do that, they got no shot at covering. If they don't, and they freaking do what they got to do at the charity stripe tonight, I think that is just enough for them to stay in this game and make sure that they're on the winning end of the spread and not Howard. So,
I agree with you. You want to get down with the dog. Yeah,
it's an interesting spot. I'll say this: the free throw shooting though is literally giving me a headache right now.
Painful.
Just thinking about the free throw shooting. Oh god.
Yeah, it's pretty painful to watch. How about this one? Big favorite on the road, Vermont at Hartford. They're 11.5 everywhere. This total's come down. It's basically 137.5 everywhere. You got to play it here.
Yeah, listen, we see it often, all the time. Vermont versus Hartford. This is a highly touted game. This is an important game for Vermont to win and dominate, because if they don't have Ryan Davis, we need to see this team rise to the occasion without him. If they can't summon the best that's within them to show that this line is the correct line and it shouldn't be a 7.5 or 6.5, then put that shit to work. I love how Finn Sullivan and Isaiah Powell are able to complement Shenungu on the perimeter. Missoula is one of the best unsung heroes for this team defensively with his on-ball defense. I think that Vermont can beat this Hartford team. They can freaking beat them at a slow tempo, at a fast tempo. And let's also not forget, Vermont is increasing their scoring production in the second half by more than 2 3-point buckets. So I like Vermont still without Davis or with Davis. And I think that we're going to know early with that team total if it's got a chance.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Man, if I had a few more points here around the 14, I'd look at Hartford, but just not enough. They get sneaky at home here, but Vermont's just been so dominant all year long. Alrighty, let's get to the next one here. North Carolina Central at Coppin State. Coppin State's a pick'em. Some places now, 1.5, depending on the book. This total's right around 141.5. What do you like?
Yeah, this is a simple spot for me. North Carolina Central or pass. This is the better defensive team. This is a top tier team in the conference. If they lose this game, it is a pretty big blemish, because you got North Carolina Central chasing Norfolk. You got Coppin State in 4th place at 4-4. it is an important game for the standings to win. And I do think that North Carolina Central, with the quality that they're getting from freaking, what's his name, Justin Wilson or Justin Thomas? I can't remember the kid that's lighting it up for North Carolina Central. But when you're getting some game-breaking scoring to go along with this really experienced backcourt and bench, yeah, they're going in, they're getting it done. I think that this is a spot where North Carolina Central is a team that you can take on the alt spread, not just on the money line. And it's Jordan Wright. Justin Wright.
Justin Wright. Okay. Yeah, I like when you go to those alt looks, Max. They've been working out for you. Get extra plus money.
You got to play your number, Connor, not the book's
That's
number.
true.
If they give you the option, why not? We can't be scared of the odds. That's for sure.
Nailed it. All right, American Holy Cross here. This is bummest of bum fights. Holy Cross, 2 points here. This is the number. This total's come down a couple points to 132.5. You have a bet on this one?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm the Patriot League governor. I love my Patriot League teams in Holy Cross. And American, I've summoned them to battle tonight. I've told them, we don't want you to make a lot of shots. We want you to miss shots. We want those shots to go off front rim. We want you to miss open shots. Both these teams are very good at doing all those things, guys. And Connor, Kyrell Luke, he's a fucking baller. Jarrell Gates, he's a semi-truck and the width of a semi-truck. So how do you guard that guy? Even though he's undersized, he's still going to get some. Holy Cross is the better defensive team. I don't see them being stopped tonight. I think that this number is respectfully low towards American, but the value is with Holy Cross, and Holy Cross winning this game large tonight. So Holy Cross is going to be eating apple pie, not honey mustard sandwiches.
That doesn't sound good. All right, next one here. South Carolina State at Morgan State. Morgan State's laying 1.5 basically everywhere, Max. This total has gone up. It's about 147.5, 148 everywhere. What do you like here?
No. Morgan State, no way, Morgan State. You're not doing it today, you sleuths. South Carolina State got a fucking vintage performance from Edward Olivier Hampton.
Did he get a wolf blood injection?
He got a wolf blood injection and he got a fluid extraction from the ladies of the night. Okay? And he freaking gave you 30 minutes of good basketball, good defense, 11 and 15. And he wants more. He wants more, people. South Carolina State is going to pull the upset tonight. They're going to go in. They're going to spank Malik Miller. He's not going to like it, but it's going to happen. South Carolina State, baby.
He's super excited about a game not many people probably are super excited about. He loves it. Next one, Norfolk State at Delaware State. Another beauty here. Norfolk's laying 14. Do you want to lay it here, Max? This total's 133.5, 134. In this one, what do you like?
Yeah, listen, I got a generous number on the spread with Delaware State. Delaware State's playing their best basketball of the year. We're talking about competitive games. I don't give a shit if they win basketball games. I just need them to be competitive.
They've been more competitive, yeah. They lose, but yeah.
Yes, competitive to lose, but they lose. Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. We don't care about them winning, Connor. We care about them being competitive. And Delaware State with Miles Carter putting up freaking 20 birds or more, that's competitive basketball. This team has different guys that can stand up based off the strength or weakness of their given opponent. And with this opponent, there should be some serious animosity. They got fucked in the mouth 80-51 last time they played. Like, that is a tonsil raid if I've ever heard of one. And I don't think that they want that to repeat. This is a different Delaware State team that we're seeing now than we saw back then. Zach Kent being back in the lineup at 6'11" gives a very good rim protector and a guy who can go up against Chris Bankston. I think Delaware State is one of the ugliest dogs on the board, but because I'm such a fucking wonderful Canadian, I'm taking them and I could watch them on Delaware State YouTube channel. So, yeah, it's ugly, It's gross, but I'll be watching every minute of it, guys. Every minute.
All right, will you be watching this one? Arkansas Pine Bluff at Alabama A&M. A&M's laying 5.5. Total 128, 127, a few 127.5. Any look here?
You talking dirty to me now. You're talking some swag basketball, bro.
Guys.
We're talking some YMCA type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, Alabama A&M literally put me through the rinse cycle against Mississippi Valley State. Not only was that game going to stay under, it ended up going to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 motherfucking overtimes. I think that we are going to see some tire legs from this Alabama A&M team tonight. I do think that this is a group, even with Cam Tucker, even with Jalen Johnson, even with freaking Garrett Hicks, they're still not going to cover this number. Arkansas Pine Bluff is getting a team that is going to be tired. The jump shots won't hit. And by my numbers, this number should have been 4.5, not 7.5, not 6.5. Just doesn't work for me. This is under basketball for me. The first game would have stayed under if they didn't go to overtime. I think that while these teams definitely played a 120 game last time out, and it was an Alabama A&M 20-point win, not having Garrett Hicks in the lineup the last 2 games has impacted them. And if they're going to allow this Arkansas Pine Bluff team to get some confidence from the 3-point line, then this game could be even more sticky for them. They need a good start. I'm not sure that they're going to get one. So I lean towards Arkansas Pine Bluff, and it's a dirty, ugly game, but you can watch it on YouTube in the poor quality of all Division I basketball teams.
Yeah,
the poorest
YouTube for shitty.
It's the worst.
Okay, let's get to another great one. Florida A&M against Alcorn State. Alcorn's laying 5. There's 4.5 out there at BetMGM. Totals 129.5 everywhere. Is this total too low? What do you think? Can it get over? Let me know.
Yeah, listen, I think that when we talk about this Alcorn State team, I have to look towards the under with them. I think that even though they're playing some of their best basketball of the year, they capped off a really nice road stint with an Alabama State freaking smackaroo. And that game only hit 130 and they won by 10. I do think that when this Alcorn Braves team is playing their best basketball, they're getting good performances from Otis Walker. They're getting good double-digit scoring production from Linnell Henry and Keandre Montgomery. But when you can get an outlier in a 130-point game from a guy like Paul King, who came off and gave you 15 points off the bench, it shows you that this team is serious about playing in March Madness, and you better get into the goddamn form right now. Otherwise, it's going to be freaking cock soup for you. I think that this is a situation where they are going to be able to get it done, but I'm not sure I want to be laying that type of number with them either, though. So,
yeah, I'd lay it with them if I had to in a free bet, but it's nothing crazy. Grambling State here, Prairie View A&M, they're laying 5.5. There's still a few 6 lingering. Total 143. Most places max 144. What do you like here, Prairie View, Grambling?
Listen, I think that Grambling has a pretty big defensive task on their hands, but I think that the answer to beating Prairie View is, first off, to turn them the fuck over, which they are capable of turning the ball over 20-something times, and you got to keep them off the free throw line. This is obviously a much more difficult task than I'm saying, because Prairie View crashes the offensive glass like no other team in the SWAC. They are definitely playing very limited depth. They are very reliant on Gambrell, on William Douglas, Jawan Daniels, even freaking Marquedrick Bell. At the end of the day, if you get them into foul trouble, you take those guys off the floor. And when you look at what they have remaining on the bench, it just doesn't inspire confidence. I do think that Jeremiah Kendall is someone that you got to really D up on and you can't forget about. But in the end, Prairie View may have looked really good against Southern, but Southern's the one that shot themselves in the foot. 12 of 18 from the free throw line, 28% from the 3-point line. Their shooting was what hurt them. I think that Grambling's better able to deal with the pressure from Prairie View, break the pressure, and with Cam Christensen being that X factor off the bench, I have a lot of freaking belief in this Grambling team tonight at this number.
Okay. Excellent. Let's get to this next one, Max. It piqued my interest a little bit. BethuneCookman. Jackson State. I've been on Cookman a bit. I don't know. They've been coming through. I wish this was a little bit more, but I lean to them here with the 5.5. This total's real low, 121, 121.5. What do you like here, BethuneCookman, Jackson State?
Listen, I think that BethuneCookman had their fun in their last game with their overtime win as a big dog. I think that tonight it's going to be very dependent. The result is going to be very dependent on what type of game we get from Jackson State. I think that with Jackson State, this is a team that's finally starting to reach their potential. This was a group that had some very lofty expectations in the beginning of the season. Then they lost freaking Freeman. Then they lost Gabe Watson. It really put them through the freaking turncycle. And I think that today, this is an opportunity for them to really cement that they have adapted and they are a complete team right now. Javius McInnes is the guy that has to make it happen with his ability to score down low, get to the free throw line, and his rebounding. It is key for him on the defensive end. If this game is going to go over, Jackson State is not going to be able to cover. But if they're going to play a Jackson State under 120 type basketball game, I think that Terrence Lewis and Jonas James are the difference. I think that this team plays with a desire to win that we don't see very often. And whether they're up or down, the intensity does not waver at all. I expect Jackson State to have a dominating game tonight. And if they can't do it, then they're in trouble when it comes to the SWAC conference tournament. And guess who they're tied with? BethuneCookman.
Revenge, too. Cookman beat them 55-50, middle of January, something like that. I forget, January 25th. So a little bit of revenge spot here for Jackson State. Man, just the 5.5. Might be on the dog or pass there. But spot for them, like you said, they need a big win. Let's get to the last couple here and we're out of here, Max. Southern against Texas Southern. Good game here. Texas Southern's laying 3 at home. This total's moved up to 138.5 in most places. What do you like here? Southern A&M, Texas Southern. Go ahead.
Sorry. I just think that with the Southern team, their shooting is going to determine their fate. I think that they can score against big teams. They can score against fast teams. They can score against teams that pressure. But if they can't shoot against this Texas Southern team like they couldn't last time out, they're in big trouble. They operate on getting those fast break points, on getting those paint points. They have to get out in transition, and that means Texas Southern missing jump shots. We know that's very possible. I think that Southern is going to be able to find their way tonight. This is a game that they need to win also for standing purposes, and I think that with Texas Southern, as long as they can limit their offensive rebounds to an extent, they're going to have a chance to win this game. But if they can't shoot the basketball with all the weapons that they have in that lineup, then there's nothing to be said. Texas Southern will walk all over them. I'm riding with the Jaguars. I think that they start off strong and with better three-point shooting with a team that's going to really compact inside the paint defensively.
Excellent breakdown. Yeah, we went over Niagara. Just check it out in the beginning, KV. We're just going straight down the line. We're at our last game. With the commercials, best bets, we'll get on out of here. Mississippi Valley State at Alabama State, Max. Alabama State here is laying 10.5. A few spots, mostly 11. Total 144.5 everywhere. What do you like here? Mississippi Valley State, Alabama.
Yeah, listen, I think that with Mississippi Valley State, even though Carpenter hasn't been in the lineup, we've seen this team play some very good basketball. But I think tonight, just like Alabama A&M, I'm hoping that they got tired legs. I'm hoping that we are hitting and missing a lot of shots. And I'm thinking that this is a spot where I start off with a first half under and then I move on from there. Gauge how Mississippi Valley State is matching up with Alabama State, who now is completely healthy with Gerald Liddell back and Kenny Strawbridge actually coming off the bench. So a lot of internal issues going on with this Alabama State team. And all I can really hope for is that they have a lackluster offensive game, unlike the first time these two teams played.
Excellent breakdown. We got it through almost right on time, Max. But hey, couple minutes, no big deal. Shout out to the chat, all you guys. Just a couple more likes to the hundo here. We'll be there shortly. Newkirk, Kenny V. Shout out to you, Roland G. Good to see you, my man. Jeffrey, Josh Easley. Good to see you. M Doctor 24. What's up, man? Christopher Comatini. Good to see you in here, my man. Haven't seen you in a minute. Matty Ice. Taint. Austin Nick. Nicky Fish Tanks. In the house. Lance LaRose. Mr. Vape. Dale. What's up, my guy? Dale up in here. Brad Hunt. NBA Talk with Jay Money. Jay Money. NBA Extraordinaire. Jay Peasy. Preston Burke. Colton. Shout out. Don Corleone. UNLV 94. James S. Pound Cake Pusher. Shout out to everybody. Ron Lofton. Great to see you, my man. And shout out to Arthur Mee for the $10 dono. Let's get a word from our sponsors real quick. We'll be right back and get out of here, Max.
Yes, sir.
I got to give the shout out before we hit it. Slaughter's in the chat. He says he's going to give away $50 to anybody who will hop on. Big Show dropped the link. Anyone who wants to come on and do a shoey, come on here and rip a shoey for $50. Jeff Slaughter's got it for you.
Oh my God!
I know a guy. I know a guy though that could do it real quick.
I'll fucking do it right now, boys, for $50.
Let's see if we get somebody. But shout out. I like that. I love it. Slaughter always telling great shit.
Wild. That's wild. Slaughter is wild, man. Wait till you guys are partying with this guy in San Antonio. Like, yo, you better come correct. Straight goods.
Yeah, he's the man. Shout out Star Child. Good to see you, man. About Buck. How you doing? Go to Southtown 101, best bar in San Diego. I almost said. San Antonio. After how many times I've had to shoot that goddamn commercial, be there. Come check us out for the Pub Palooza for that week. It's going to be a good old time. I can't wait with all the college basketball going on. Go to mybookie.ag at promo code Pub Sports. Use the Bitcoin to match you or put 1,000. They match you with 1,000. And last, go to manscaped.com at promo code Pub Sports. Get the Lawnmower 4.0. It's their best product, but get the full kit and caboodle. It comes with everything. Ball deodorant. All that good shit, get underwear, all this shit from manscaped.com. Great product. Promo code Pup Sports. Did you drop the link, Show? No?
I could drop
it. Is anybody coming on? Maybe this is something we have to do for tomorrow since it looks, I know a guy named Nicky Fish Tanks right here that could do it quickly. But anyways, Max, let's see if anybody comes on. If not, we'll make this challenge for tomorrow. If someone wants to pop on, if we don't get someone on here right now and rip a shoey for $50, I mean, come on, just a little beer and an old shoe, maybe a new shoe, a dress shoe, a boot. You can go down a whole line of your shoes, the old ones.
I'll chug some Manischewitz, like frig. I'll pour that. And just start getting freaking drunk.
No doubt.
And it is terrible tasting. I'll tell you that.
Give me your best bet, brother. Give your final word for the chat. I'll give mine, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, listen, I think that I'm just going to roll with what I think is going to work tonight. I think that Creighton and Georgetown can be disgusting. I think that they can make us sick with their lack of execution, and hopefully it's going to lead to lots of points. I think that we're getting the worst of the number, but when I look at my totals and I still look at where the most value is, I still have a nice lime green color beside this total. So that means that it's copacetic, and we're going to take it. Best bet, Creighton, Georgetown over 142.
I like it. I like it too. They're so bad defensively. Georgetown, and they can score at times. So interesting. I like it. All right, let's get to mine. I'm on Virginia here, Max. I'm on the 4.5. Got to take it. I think this game is close. Classic Virginia game. Virginia Tech rivalry. Too many. Probably a game that's going to be in the 60s, maybe high 50s. So take that one. And I'm going to throw one more. It's ass clincher. I'm taking it. Throw it on here. Dayton here versus Rhode Island, the under. 126, you can get it. There's a few of them out there. A lot of 125s and a half. This is moved the wrong way. I think it stays under. If they get hot, I get fucked. But take the under there. Just ass clenching tight. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you. Nobody came on. We got to get someone to get on here and rip a shoey. $50. Come on, baby. Can't beat that. Ice cold beer or down a shoey, 50 spot. Man, if I wasn't on the show, I'd be coming on the show, even though it doesn't make much sense. Well, that's it, baby. We're out of here. NCAA Net Profit. Have a great Monday, Valentine's Day. He's the great Maxwell Swart. I'm Conor Mack. We out of here, baby. We be clubbing! Peace.